Hello and welcome to another PA Matches tutorial. This time we're going to be taking a look at the System Manager and learning how to build custom systems. To do so, you just head on over here to the System Manager. This pulls up the My Systems, where it has a list of all the systems that you have previously saved, so you can then pull them up and edit them, or you can come down here to create a new system. If you want to look at some of your previous planets, you just click on it and it will provide some additional info about the base planet. You can delete it or load it to begin managing it. But this time we're going to go ahead and create a new system. Now, if you had just played a match, then what we would see here is the system that you just played on. This is handy if you played on a random system and you really liked one of the planets. Now this time we'll be building a system from scratch, so we can come down here and take a look at the different planet biomes that we can create. Moon, lava, metal, tropical, ice, desert, and earth. You can also come down here to recent or my planets if you have saved a specific planet template that you like. So this time let's just go with something to start out. We'll go with the classic earth, give it a click, and there's often a little bit of a waiting period, but now we've got our planet. We can then place it in our system. You can't place it too close to the sun or too far. So let's just go right in the mid-range and click, and there it is. We can make it an elliptical orbit, but we'll just kind of keep it simple. And again, if you go too far, then nope, that's not allowed. So now we've got one planet, let's edit it. We can go in here and we can fine-tune the mass, which currently doesn't do anything, velocity, position, change the name, but let's go over here and click edit. Now we're editing just the specifics of this planet. We've got seed, radius, height range, and a few others. We can randomize the name again, or we can change the biome and change the seed. The seed, there's a whole bunch of technical mumbo-jumbo behind it, but essentially this kind of just changes up how the planet is randomized. We've got the radius, which you can click and drag it larger, and if it goes into the experimental, then that means it's too large for current gameplay. Or you can bring it down, which then makes it movable. You can put hallies on it, so let's just go with a decent sized planet. Height range, this is what increases the amount of bumps and hills in the terrain, as well as increases the frequency of mountains and plateaus and the like. Let's bring that down a little bit. Biome scale, that increases the size of the biomes. If you have really large biomes, then you'll have really big mountain ranges. If you decrease the size of the biomes, then you'll have a bunch of mountain ranges scattered about the planet and stuff like that. Water height, fairly straightforward. The greater the water height, the more water there is, the less water. We'll go a little on the bottom side. Temperature, this affects some biomes and doesn't affect other biomes. But this increases the amount of ice or increases the amount of desert or keeps it in the middle. Let's just keep it in the middle. Metal density and metal clusters will be available in the future, so we can take a look at, or so we can increase the frequency of metal, but this feature is not available yet. So next, let's hit preview. Previewing a planet can take a while, in which that time the program can become unresponsive. The larger the planet, the larger the system, the longer it'll take to load. So just be patient during that next part. So now we've got the planet. We can move around, zoom in, zoom out, and just see if we like the planet. If you don't like the planet, then you can just come on over to the sliders, give it a little tweak, and then preview it if you so choose. We could also save the template, which will then put it in that list of templates that we saw earlier. So I'm happy with this for now, so let's close out of this and return to the system view, which again, you can zoom in and move around just like any normal system. So now let's add more to our system. Let's take a lava planet and let's make it orbit our main planet. To do that, you just move it up close to the planet, and it'll then orbit around it. We've got to keep in mind that the planet that is orbiting a planet must be smaller than, I don't even know how you'd phrase that, the main planet. Move it too far out, and then it'll just pop on over to orbiting the sun. But we want it to orbit this planet, so let's go right about here. And now we've got a moon orbiting our main planet. However, we can inception this further, and we can take another planet and make it orbit the planet that's orbiting the planet, which can be create some very interesting gameplay. Now let's drop in one more, and let's make it way far out, right about there. That's good. Finally, we can come up here to simulate, which will then have all the planets going round and round the sun as if it were in gameplay. And then we've also got the preview all button, which previews all of the planets in the system, like when we previewed just that Earth planet early on. The game gets really, really laggy and takes forever to load when doing that, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. So then we can stop the simulation, you can clear the system, and then over here we can name the system before saving it. Once you save it, it'll show up in the system list that we were over on there previously. To use the system we just created, come on back to the main menu and click play. Then up to create game. And then over here we've got the system overview right over here. This will show the randomly generated systems, which we can just create a new system here on the fly, or we can come over to load system. Now we've got our list of systems that we've created, and then you can just click load and drop it on in. And voila. And that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please drop me a like and a subscribe. I'll see you next time.